And at the track where Michael Schumacher won the 91st and final of his Formula 1 victories, we are here for round 2 of the PSGL F1 season, the Chinese Grand Prix at the Shanghai International Circuit. This 5.4 kilometre circuit will provide a different challenge to Australia last week, much more wider track, so we will see plenty of two-way, maybe three-way action down the kilometre long back straight between turns 13 and 14. And in this particular race tonight, we will have 3 dry compounds. That will be the mediums, softs and ultra shorts, which should provide a different kind of strategy. But as usual, China, a big chance of rain. And as usual, in the commentary box tonight, I am welcome alongside the PSGL GT Sport and F4 commentator, cticeDemon. Matt, my friend, welcome back to the commentary box.
Thank you for having me back again. It's an honor to be here. How's everybody doing tonight?
Well, I'm sure they are getting all settled in and ready for some great racing tonight. Well, what are your thoughts on PSGL F1 so far, Demon, after the events of Australia last week, where, of course, BigC, the veteran of this season's league, which is really hard to believe given, you know, where he used to be one of the young hotshots of the league, won that race at Melbourne to start the season in the best way possible.
Yeah, it's a big win for BigC, and a little heartbreak for his teammate who had the last-ditch effort to try to get the lead at the end and backfired on him. So looking for Ash to get redemption tonight and park it in the first spot tonight instead of the fourth. Indeed.
Well, as usual, we have an 18-minute qualifying session followed by a 50% 28-lap race of this Shanghai International Circuit. So we're just going to go through the drivers' standings, which of course we've only had one race, so very early days in this particular championship. And it is BigC who leads the early standings with 16 points. And then Game of the Best taking a superb second place on his return to the grid on 12 points. Ugizim on 10. Ash Best probably should have been on the podium last week, but got a few too many penalties. He's on 8 points, and making up the top 5 is Abiodun with 6 points. And then in the Constructors' Championship, it is McLaren with the early advantage, double the points of the nearest teams. So Ash Best and BigC making a great start to the season. 24 points for McLaren, and then Williams on 12 points for Game of the Best and Sambamkid. I mean, McLaren and Williams 1 and 2 in the Constructors' Championship. What is this, the mid-90s? And then Red Bull will be on 10 points, and then 6 points for Force India, and making up the top 5, MaxiLucaGT5 and Hamilton on 4 points. So what are your impressions of this particular circuit, Demon, having commentated on it yesterday? What sort of strategy may we see from the drivers?
I'm looking for, if it's a dry race, I think a lot of them will start on the softs and just throw away the ideas of ultras because they just shred up so fast here. And with the very long straights here, there's going to be a lot more passing in the DR zones than last week at Australia.
And do you think we've got a possibility of seeing some rain in this race?
Quite possibly. My race last night had rain, and that will really mess with people's strategies, because sometimes the track doesn't always get wet right away, so you have to plan for that. So
compared to the street circuit of Australia last week, I mean, where do you see the main overtaking opportunities being on this track?
I believe the main overtaking spot would be the DRS straight right before the hairpin, and maybe into turn 1.
Yes, you mentioned turn 1. That is one of the trickier turn 1s on the calendar, and in a few moments we are just going to get a quick track guide of this particular circuit, so just hold on a minute. Just got to retweet this so that everyone knows it. As ever, if you enjoy the broadcast, please leave a like, and if you haven't already, subscribe. PSGL F1 every Monday here at 8 PM, and we have another 9 races to go after this one, would you believe, as we run up to Christmas to end the first season of the F1 2017 era. So let's have a quick look then at the Shanghai International Circuit. It's a track which I didn't particularly like when I first started playing these F1 games, but I haven't really come to enjoy it. And that isn't just because I won an F7 last week. I do generally enjoy this track because of the amazing racing action you tend to get here. So then, on the rundown to the first corner, there's 2 DRS zones on this track. This is the second of them. And this is a very tricky first corner. It's all about engine braking here. You brake slightly at the 50 markable, then you just sort of got to just, let the engine do the braking off the throttle, and then just, carefully get those apexes right. Turns 1, 2, 3, and then building up the speed again as we head through 4. Trying not to go too wide, otherwise you sort of compromise yourself. And here comes the end of sector 1. Into turn 6, very tight apex here. And accelerating away for one of my favourite sections of the track. Turn 7 and 8, a brilliant sweeping left corner here. Some maybe have the 7 to go flat here, but it's quite dangerous to do so. I mean, if you don't get your ballast right there, you could easily spear off the track. And then another technical section here, turns 9 and 10. Building up the speed then as we head towards one of the more important braking zones of the track, turn 11. If you mess this up, you're going to be really in trouble from the car behind, because it's so important to get a good exit out of 11 and 12, because this is the critical part of the track. Turns 13 and then to 14, the kilometre long back straight, one of the longest straights in Formula 1, and this is where we will see the majority of the overtaking. All the battery, DRS and rich fuel modes will be used here to defend and overtake. Then after getting up to top gear and top speed, speeds of over 200 miles an hour, watch from the marbles on the left, slowing down for the hairpin, being careful not to cut it. It's easy to get a 5-second stop-go penalty in this game there. And then heading out from turn 15 towards 16, again another corner you can easily cut through here, and then heading for the start-finish line and for the end of the lap of the Shanghai International Circuit, and what promises to be a thrilling race for the second round of the season. So just going back to you, Demon. In terms of the drivers last week, who particularly impressed you outside of, say, the top 3? Were there any ones who think maybe could challenge for the victory today?
One driver that's not here tonight that impressed me was Hamilton. He had an early mistake and fought back through the field for a decent result, but he's not here tonight. But I don't know. Cliffy had a good run until he had a late incident, and Badboy had a decent run until he spun 2 at the end.
Yes.
So a lot of guys looking for redemption for bad mistakes at the end of the race last week.
Yes, well, Australia claiming many victims, especially that 11 and 12. I don't expect to see as many retirements in this race. I mean, across the board, we haven't seen too many overtakes across the league, so that has really been the case. But you mentioned some of those drivers earlier, but MichEmery once again will be on the grid as a reserve, with Hamilton being absent, so which means that tonight CCBRAIN makes his first start of the season for Mercedes. So MichEmery picked up points actually in the driver's standing, so he'll be looking for a similar result, looking to secure himself an F1 seat down the line. Well, who knows, given the egos in this league, it would be very surprising if they all get to the end of the season without some major tantrum, but hopefully it will be the racing that will be the main talking point. We've got plenty watching already. Let's see who's here. The likes of Dale, aka Mr. Grumpy, in the words of Erin, one of the most experienced drivers on the grid. And then we got Leon as well. He's in the chat, but he will obviously be racing under his Badboy PSN name tag. Actually, is he actually in the lobby tonight? I can't actually see him.
Yeah, he's under the CSR Leon.
Ah, yes, of course. He is indeed. So he's gone for the full esports name this evening. I see Josh as usual. Good to see you. Abiodun. And then Fish is, of course, here, watching over the proceedings. Cablo, Deja Vu. Oh, big congratulations to Deja Vu for his first ever PSGL victory last night in F5. And I have to say, even though there wasn't many races, what a thrilling battle for the lead that was. So check out PSGL F5. It's on Leon's channel, I believe. But yeah, even though not many drivers, what a fantastic battle that was for the F5 victory. Went all the way to the final flag. So then, we are now about to start the qualifying session for the PSGL F1 Chinese Grand Prix. So I'm going to switch off this particular thing and get up the loading screen and views of this fantastic facility. First race here in 2004. The great Michael Schumacher winning the first race here. So let's just wait for the 18-minute qualifying session. But yeah, I mean, you mentioned it earlier, Demon. If we get rain in qualifying or the race, that's going to play a big factor. We have no idea what the pecking order of the wet weather runners are, because we haven't had any wet running yet in PSGL F1. So that's going to be very interesting, isn't it? If we get some.
For sure. And like it was yesterday, we had the wet quality and the dry race. you had people doing different strategies, whether to run the wet setup to get the pole or run the dry setup so they were good for the race. So that will play in for it too. But it looks dry here for now.
Yeah, but it's a dry qualifying session at least. We will find out in due course what the weather will be for the race. Just going to grab my water. Forgot to bring it over because, well, this is my third commentary in 24 hours. So I'm feeling it a little bit, but I will give my best as always for PSGL F1. So coming out of the pits, it looks like KB Killer Zone has gone for the soft tyres, but hasn't come out yet. So only it's Ash Best, I believe, making his customary quick dash out of the pit lane. Seems to always get out of the pit lane quickly, and he's on the ultra soft tyres. So, I mean, a lot of the other leagues couldn't get the ultra softs to work, but these are the best drivers in PSGL. So if anyone can make this sort of strategy work, it will be these guys. Maybe track position is what they'll be after, but I would expect there'll be more soft runners going in there, because the soft to medium strategy appears to be the superior strategy, but not sure at this moment in time. Some of these drivers might have something up their sleeves. Quite a lot of drivers out on track. Let's see who else is out there. It is Blizzard who's out there as well. Now Blizzard, he finished in 8th position last week. Given his pre-season pace, I think he'd be slightly disappointed with that result, don't you think, Matt?
Oh, for sure. Blizzard's always had a decent amount of pace, so anything less than a podium for him is disappointing to his standards.
Yeah, I completely agree. Won the pre-season race in very impressive fashion, getting pole position. But now he's going to have to go again, but there's going to be much more opportunities for overtaking here than it was Australia. And, you know, we're going to get very lots of battles on that back straight. Could even see several free wide situations. So just on that, VSR Lewis and the reigning PSGL F1 champion will just go with him for a few corners. Disappointing first race at Australia. Did manage to pick up a couple of points. Seems like everybody's it looks like BigC is actually, oh no, Ash Best. So we're going to stick on board with the last week's race winner, because it's the only engine that isn't glitching at the moment, so I think that's for the best. So through the opening section of corners he goes. Just going to have a quick look who were the former winners of this particular track. Hasn't actually been run that many times in the past, Matt. So 2 times a winner here, Iran back in season 8, season 10, pre-F1 days. And then Jamie picking up the victory here in season 16-18, a former PSGL F1 champion here, of course. And last season's race winner was your current reigning champion, Lewis. So I think Lewis is the only former winner of this race in the grid today. Iran, of course, switching to F4 and then F2 this season. And Jamie plying his trade in GT Sport and doing a very fantastic job, I have to say. Now, Matt, having seen plenty of these races across the PSGL leagues, there's a lot of drivers out there on Ultrasofts. They must have seen the other races. Do you think this is a bit of kidology by some of the drivers?
Yeah, I think it's mind games. I'm looking for these guys to like pull up right after the hairpin so they get a slow time on purpose, and they're going to set the real lap on soft.
Yeah, Ashbest straight into the pits. I think you might be right about that. Mind games. Is anyone actually going to set, or has anyone not been paying attention to the other leagues? Because BigC rounds the final corner. Is he going to back off for the line? And yes, he does. Very interesting. 132, 137. And it's a 134.89 from Nick Pines. I don't think he's been paying attention. He's not on the optimum strategy, but who knows? If there's early rain, that track position could be key. But Nick Pine, if it's a fully dry race, he could be about to find out that the Ultrasofts are not the tyre to be on for the start of a fully dry race, because they go off so quickly. Well, to answer your question, Lucas, he backed off before the start-finish line. And KB Killer with a 131. 281, and Oogie Azim with a 130.289, so he is very good at tyre management, so maybe he can make it work. But yeah, very good banker from Oogie Azim, 130.289. I did expect the pole time, if we get one in the Ultras, to be high 29s. So maybe Oogie Azim fancies just getting the glory of pole position, then worrying about it later. But given how good his tyre wear is, don't be surprised if he does a few laps in the Ultrasofts and then does a long stint on the mediums to the end of the race. Oh, very close between the Haas and the Red Bull just then. Was that MichEmery? I'm not sure. Let's see where he is. It was... No, MichEmery's actually behind Ugi's Red Bull, so it must have been his teammate for the night, MaxiLuca. MaxiLuca setting a 1:39.76. So plenty of drivers setting times in the Octosofts, although I would say only the top 3 representative, Matt, don't you think?
Yeah, for sure. And KB in 4th, not a bad lap on the softs either.
No, not bad at all, 1:31.281. Is there anyone else out there? Well, Cliffy is going to be the second driver to attempt a soft run, so I think I'm going to keep an eye on him and pick him up when he does his first flying run, just out of interest. MichEmery then, heading for the hairpin. He's on a flying lap at the moment. Let's see if he backs off or sets a representative time. But yeah, I do agree with Chillo. Ugi's might be one of the few drivers who can pull off the strategy which seemingly hasn't worked anywhere else. Crossing the line then, MichEmery then with a 1:32.85, just, and I mean just in front of Ugi 0.004. Wow, that is close. So it's just over 2/10 between the top 3 who've all opted for ultra softs. They are definitely not going on the softs. So then let's see who hasn't set a time. The likes of Blizzard, Ashbest, Wocko, CCBRAIN haven't set a time yet.
Cliffy's coming to the line now.
Yeah, well, let's have a look at Cliffy. Just we've seen a lap from BigC, so let's see the comparison then of those soft tyres. So then heading for, we're going to go away from the onboard because again, another lawnmower engine for us to enjoy. So then it is a, going to get that time back up. So it is a 1:31.281 for Cliffy to beat in terms of the best soft times. Through sector 1 so far. Very clean lap so far. Then around the sweeping turns of 7 and then 8. Quite a tricky apex sometimes, very easy to drift wide. Then into turns 9 and 10. Another corner where if you take too much speed, you can go wide. Oh, just like that. But he just got it under control. Then through the next section of corners, turn 11, end of sector 2, and then turn 12, which is, along with 11, the most important part of the track in terms of getting your traction down. Because if you run wide or don't get the speed, you're going to be a sitting duck to a car behind during the race, or it will cost you an overtaking opportunity. So then, Cliffy heading towards the hairpin of turn 14. We're going to see then what his time is compared to KB Killer, unless of course he's invalidated. Penalty should be much less of a factor here than it was in Melbourne last week. So here we go then. We'll enjoy the lawnmower for a few seconds just before he crosses the line. Cliffy running wide. What is this going to be then? And Cliffy, oh yes, just 0.20 faster. So he's the fastest soft runner so far. And MaxiLuca has switched to the softs. Blizzard's still in the pit lane, so he must be perhaps waiting for a final run later on when the track evolution is at its maximum. So good lap time from Cliffy. He's the fastest soft runner so far. MaxiLuca has gone out into the softs. Not a very busy track at the moment. Let's get out this lawnmower camera view. So what are your impressions of the qualifying so far, Matt, as we just have over 9 minutes of the session to go?
Noticing there's only a second difference between the softs and the ultras. I thought it would be a little bit more because it's 2 tire compounds, but I think these guys on the softs can make a statement in the race. Yeah,
they certainly can. And Ugi and MichEmery coming out once again on the ultra soft, so they are going for the very, excuse the pun, ultra aggressive strategy here. Now, who else is on a lap at the moment? Let's see, MichEmery.
Oh. Nice save by MaxiLuca. Got sideways coming off the final corner.
Wow. MaxiLuca's on a soft run. So let's see how he does momentarily. Wow. He's had to back off, so this run is already ruined. What's he got to beat though? He's got to be at 1:39.76 if he is doing a soft run. That's going to be a tall order to beat that. He's going to have to be 3/10 quicker than Cliffy to beat that. That's going to be very tricky indeed.
Yeah.
It is a shame most of the cars appear to have that glitch. And here comes MichEmery then. One changes. Can you just let me know where MichEmery is on track? So we'll probably switch to him at one point if he's ahead of MichEmery on track.
He's coming down the DRS straight for the hairpin now.
He's on his outlap. So we will stick then with MichEmery. See how he does heading through the middle of Sector 2. MichEmery just behind MichEmery at the moment, looking to retake provisional pole position. Just over 7 minutes of session to go. It's a very quick qualifying session so far. Amazing how quickly it goes. It was a fantastic qualifying session last week at Melbourne, and I expect this will be just as tight, but maybe between less cars, because I think a lot of the field are going to opt for the soft compound by the end, you would imagine. So MichEmery then, 132.85. What can MichEmery do? Can he get back in front? I believe Nick Pine is out there again, so we'll try and catch up with him. So then, MichEmery heading for the line. Christian Horner looking on. Can his man retake provisional pole for the time being? And he does, and it's by nearly half a second. Into the 129s we go then, and MichEmery clearly on the hunt for pole position. But can MichEmery respond? He would have been halfway through Sector 2 when he saw that time lighting up the timing screens. It looks pretty smooth so far. Not the best camera view, I have to admit. Hopefully it will switch back. There you go. Nice one, director. I can see the car now. Into the end of Sector 2. And ooh, the back end sliding a little bit. Might suggest a little bit more ballast on that car. It still looks very quick, but he's got to find a lot of time to get near to MichEmery. Nick Pine, I believe, is just behind him, in fact, in the Force India. So we'll definitely select him when MichEmery crosses the line, see how he does. More soft runners are coming out. And now, heading for the line is MichEmery, and what will this be? Just off the pace, and Nick Pine has opted to back off, so MichEmery unable to get back past MichEmery, but he has closed the gap to less than 0.2 of a second. Now, who else is out there? Is anybody on the softs once again? Cliffy, still the fastest soft runner. XJackLacey, though, is moved up to third in the running for the soft tyres. Anyone else out there on the softs? Blizzard appears to be out on the softs, so let's try and catch up with the pre-season race winner.
Ash is on the mediums too. That's interesting to see the car.
Yeah, actually, it's indeed on the mediums. That's an interesting call. I wonder if that's an indication of rain in this race. And Blizzard is actually in the toe of KB Killer. And I wonder if this is an orchestrated move from the Toro Rosso team. I think it is. Looks too convenient to me, but yeah, he's getting a brilliant toe from the Toro Rosso head. But will KB Killer actually get out of the way if this is indeed... Yes, it is an orchestrated move from the Toro Rosso team. Very clever. I'm surprised I haven't seen anyone else try it, to be honest. But Blizzard getting the power down then. Heading towards the start-finish line. And with that toe, that could make all the difference in being the fastest soft time here today. And it makes a huge difference. Nearly 0.4 of a second. And Blizzard goes sick from the softs. Fantastic teamwork from the Toro Rosso team. And, well, KB Killer has already done a time on the softs, and I believe you only get one set of softs. But both Toro Rossos in the top 10 currently on the soft compound. But, you know, that is really good teamwork from Toro Rosso, so that's really good to see. What do you make of that?
Any advantage you could get, that's within the rules. It's time. So teamwork is always welcome.
Yeah, most of the drivers in the pit lane at the moment, so I'm just going to see if we can catch anyone else. It looks like Ash... Let's have a look at Ash Best. Ash Best is indeed on a medium run, so let's see what he can do. Heading towards the hairpin at turn 14. Nice apex there. Just not too much curb. Gets powered down. It's going to be fascinating to see where Ash Best ends up. And straight into the pit lane. More mind games from Ash Best, but slightly risky. He hasn't set a time yet, so he's going to be all on his final run. Wouldn't have had time, to be fair, to get back. So yeah, certainly backing off there. Blizzard retires from the session. He's satisfied with his qualifying. And, well, he may not end up in the top 10. But given that most of the drivers I think are going to be on the softs, he's got a fair chance of staying there. So it's a very interesting situation. We've almost got 2 qualifying sessions in one. One for the soft runners to try and break into the top 10 and the battle for pole position. MichEmery has ended his session. Has he crashed on track or has he just retired in the pits?
I wasn't able to catch it. They still need to fix that.
Didn't see what happened at all. Well, BigC then. BigC is actually 6 cents off on the ultra soft. So these are your best times at the moment then. 1:29.874 as AMS crosses the line, and he is indeed on the soft tyres. And look at that, most of those outside the top 10 opting for the softs. And Cliffy, interestingly, Cliffy, Maxi and KB Killer going out on the ultra softs for the end of the session. Well, that's an interesting move from those lot, because you know Cliffy and KB, they're in the top 10 on the softs. So maybe they've decided, you know what, I want to compete for pole position. AMS is on a flying run, as we see in the background a Haas going off the track to get out of the way. I think that was MaxiLuca. So I'm going to keep on board with AMS. AMS had a very strong end to season 20 of PSGL F1. Still on the hunt for his first win in PSGL F1. A bit of traffic though for him ahead, but he may possibly get a tow from the Red Bull up ahead. The car dancing as they head through turn 13. He may get a tow from the Renault here. And he's certainly looking for it. Won't get much given the Renault's not going that fast, so not really generating much of a tow. Now let's go into the hairpin. This looks a steady lap from AMS, but I'm not sure it's going to be near Blizzard's time. We're about to find out. Heading for the line then, AMS crosses the line and it's only 13th. With the softs to improve on the second run. Now CSR Leon, he's on a soft run. Anyone else out there? What about BigC? BigC 1:29.874 on his flying lap. What about Nick Pine? Nick Pine on his flying run. BigC also on a flying run. So there is still a good battle out there for pole position. So the glory of pole position. But keep an eye on the soft runners for me, Demon. Let me know if there's anyone on a really fast lap in terms of the softs. Because at the moment the benchmark for the softs is a 1:30.884 and the benchmark for ultra softs is a 1:29.874. So BigC then heading through the middle sector. And up the road, Nick Pine following him in. And BigC heading into the back straight. So we'll keep an eye on BigC. Can the 7-time champion take pole position away from BigC? It is very unfortunate we have the rev limiter and all that stuff. And MaxiLuca retires from the session, so he will be no better than 9th place. So then here comes BigC, round the final corner he goes. And what's it going to be? BigC goes third at 1:32.89, and now here comes BigC. It's a 1:29.8. He hasn't improved, in fact. Nick Pine coming out of the hairpin. Can he snatch pole position from any of the top 5? Wocko finishes 6th. Cliffy gets into 3rd on the ultra softs. Nick Pine though goes back above him into 3rd position, but it looks like BigC is going to be on pole position. Where's Ash Best? Ash Best crosses the line and it's only 13th. Not a good soft run from him. GamingAlimonda gets in the top 10, as does Lewis. Is Gamer still on another run, or is this an in-lap? Yeah, this looks like an in-lap. Is there anyone else out there? No, I think that is it for our qualifying session. Oh, very interesting qualifying session there. So the top 7 all on ultra softs, and then 8th, 9th and 10th on the softs, and then the rest will have a free tyre choice outside the top 10. So BigC then taking the pole position by just over a 10th of a second, his first pole position of the season. So what did you make of that? Surprised to see so many ultra soft runners in the top 10, given what we know?
Actually, I am. I mean, I know these guys are like top of the crop for our league, but I would think the strategy would play out more with the softs at the beginning of the race here, unless, like you were saying earlier, maybe they're expecting rain early.
Yeah, perhaps. So we're just waiting for the end of the qualifying session. Quite a fascinating qualifying session there. Nearly a 50-50 split between the two relevant strategies. But the top 7 will have track position, but how long will that last? They're going to have to make those tyres last at least a few laps, because the mediums do start to drop off after about 20 laps, if they are indeed going for that. So xJackLacey then takes pole position for MichEmery. Then row 2 we have Nick Pine and Cliffy, BigC, xJackLacey on row 3, Wocko, Blizzard, GamingAlimonda and Lewis, the reign champion, making up the top 10. Then outside the top 10 we have MaxiLucaGT5, KB Killer, Ash Best in 14th, the former champion. Then Abiodun and Leon in 15th and 16th, and then AMS and Sambamkid in 17th and 18th respectively, and making up the grid Cherry2Pie and Qprbeasts987. Very close gap between the top 5, just over 0.3 of a second. This is going to be a fascinating situation. Will we get rain early on? Is that the reason why so many have gone the ultras? Or will this just be a complete split of strategies? Or perhaps these drivers have more... Oh, look at this! Misty skies! I tell you what, if we get rain earlier on, these ultra soft runners may well have explained why they went for it, and maybe in the prime position. But it's only mist. It doesn't appear to be any rain, but will we get rain on the formation lap? Can you imagine it? It started pouring a rain on the opening lap. This could be absolute chaos. And, well, some worried team owners, that is for sure. So, we got 35 watching so far. So, welcome to the stream if you've just joined us for the start of the formation lap. Just so you know, xJackLacey taking pole position from MichEmery and Nick Pine, BigC and Wocko making up the top 5. And the top 7 all on the ultra softs. The rest of the top 3, sorry, top 10 rather, on the soft compound. So let's have a look then at what tyres are on. Matt, if you can give us a rundown of what tyres those drivers outside the top 10 are on.
All right, outside the top 10, we have 11th through 17th are all on softs. Sambam's the only one to opt for the mediums, and then Cherry and QPR are also on the softs.
Wow, yes, that is fascinating. Wonder what Sambamkid's got up his sleeve, because the mediums, they'll go a long time in this race, easily 20 laps before they start to drop off, as long as you don't battle too hard. So I wear quite severe at this track, as the ultra soft runners may find out. It's a gloomy Shanghai. I don't know if that's pollution or generally fog. Never know with China. You know, it's one of the biggest cities in China, just over in the horizon. Fantastic skyscrapers. One of the Herman Tilke's first creations, the famous F1 architect of tracks. So xJackLacey then in the pole position. He had a strong qualifying last week as well, of course, but he sort of faded away in the opening stint, but came back strongly by the end. So I don't think xJackLacey will have any issue with doing a few laps in the ultras and then doing a very long stint on the mediums, if indeed it is a fully dry race. So just a reminder of the championship standings. BigC leading on 16 points after his victory last week, 4 points ahead of GamingAlimonda, and xJackLacey actually in third position on 10 points. So he'll be looking to get at least a second podium in a row. And in terms of the two championship rivals above him, GamingAlimonda in 9th and BigC in 5th. So he's got a few cars between him. xJackLacey came very close to winning the championship in PS2 F1 back in the F1 2016 era. Didn't quite go so well for him in F1 2017, although he didn't pick up one brilliant victory last season at Bahrain. So here comes the grid then, as Shanghai, Qprbeasts987 not really being bothered about doing the whole formation lap apparently, and his car reaches there first. So xJackLacey then puts his car in the place you want to be. Pole position, very tricky. Turn 1 here. It's a 265 meter dash from the start finish line to turn 1. Don't be surprised if we see some contact, or at least a bit of carbon fibre flying through the air, but hopefully not. And what's that? A spot of rain I just saw. Well, We'll find out in a few seconds. The grid is set then for the PSGL F1 Chinese Grand Prix. Watch out for the 5 red lights. Any time now. Here they come. Charlie Whiting has woken up. 5 red lights. And away we go. It's a good start from Ugi Azim. MichEmery trying to get the toe, but MichEmery going through the gears better. Can he challenge for the lead into the opening corner? But Ugi Azim taking the outside line for 2, but he'll have the inside for 3 as long as he doesn't go too wide. But MichEmery going to try and cut the apex. No, Ugi Azim will maintain the position and maintains the lead. Nick Pine is up to 3rd place. And Cliffy has got past BigC into 4th. Although there's Cliffy, and look at that. MichEmery's going to go for a dive down the inside. He's gone very deep though. MichEmery's gone incredibly deep, and he may lose another position to Cliffy behind. Let's go on board with MichEmery and Cliffy as they battle for position here. But MichEmery recovers from going deep into that corner, and he gets the 2nd place back. Anything going on down the line? It looked like a relatively clean start to me, Matt.
It was pretty clean back here. There was Ash lost the back end a little bit and lost a few spots, but other than that, it's pretty clean back end. Yeah,
Ash Best has really dropped from his starting position. So, you know, he didn't get the best out of the softs, but he's got plenty of time to come back into it, though. But let's have a look then at this fantastic shot as they run down. Look at that, weaving, trying to break the toe. MichEmery closing in on Ugi Azim. They'll be on full battery mode there. The whole grid then in shot. That is absolutely brilliant. And into this corner we'll go. We'll stick with XJackLacey. And then we'll go straight back to Ugi Azim because he's under enormous pressure from MichEmery as we finish the first lap of this race. 28 in total of this 5.4 kilometre circuit. But MichEmery then trying to close onto Ugi Azim. Getting the toe. Cliffy is right behind them. So any mistake from either of these two will be punished severely by Cliffy. Very gloomy track. I wonder if we're going to get some early rain. We haven't seen any signs of that yet. MichEmery so close, but the top 5 incredibly close so far. But to be fair, Blizzard and GamingAlimonda are not exactly far behind. So MichEmery went for a big dive last lap. Not going to do that this time. So he's learned his lesson very quickly. And he slots in 2nd place. Perhaps he's going to bide his time for the main straight and maybe another lap for the DRS. And Wocko and Ash Best are in the pit lane. Is that going to be a wing change? I think it is, unfortunately. So Ash Best has been caught up in an incident somewhere. And Wocko as well. Very early pit stop to be having, even on the softs. They'll have to go a while. Yeah, Ash Best will have to do 26 laps on the mediums if he's going to get to the end. To the former PSGL F1 champion of season 19, having a dreadful start at Shanghai. So let's see what MichEmery can do. The top 3 edging slightly away from Nick Pine in 4th position. So here comes MichEmery then. See what sort of battery he's got. He's got it up into overtake. But actually Ugi Azim doesn't seem much threat yet. He's left a little gap though to the inside. But no real threat at the moment. But Ugi Azim goes very deep once again as he did the previous lap. And that could cost him dearly. Ugi Azim's going to have to try and come back in the penultimate corner. But that was a mistake from Ugi Azim. And MichEmery takes the lead of the race. Well, big mistake from Ugi Azim there, Matt. Are the ultras going off?
Quite possibly, depending on how many laps they did in qualifying. Just going to make them worse at the start here.
Yes, and someone in the chat making a point that only a safety car or rain can save those at the back, and I have to agree with them. I mean, God, a pit stop was quite long here, well over 20 seconds. You know, unfortunately, Wocko and Ash Best, their race may be done without a safety car. XJackLacey then battling with Blizzard behind. The lap 3, this is where the ultra softs in other leagues have started to wear off pretty badly. And MichEmery then getting half a second out on Ugi Azim. Going to have a quick look at Blizzard because he has just passed XJackLacey. GamingAlimonda now putting XJackLacey under pressure. They're going to go side by side into turns 9 and 10. XJackLacey will cover the inside. Oh, slight contact, forcing GamingAlimonda off. And watch out for CCBRAIN, making his first appearance of the season. And he's going to try. XJackLacey really struggling for grip now, but we're going to have to go back to the front just for a few moments just to see if Ugi Azim can come back. But look, he's drifting wide. There just isn't that purchase on the tyres. But here comes Ugi Azim. He's going to go up to full overtake. He's got the DRS. And well, look at that straight line speed Ugi Azim's got. MichEmery not covering the inside, not defending. So Ugi Azim may well get this move done for position. And here we go, straight back. to fighting behind. XJackLacey fending off a gaggle of soft runners. And look at that, the ultra soft runners already in the pit lane. A whole load of them. Cliffy, Nick Pine, Zine carries on, as does MichEmery, Blizzard as well. So the ultra soft runners in. BigC, Nick Pine and Cliffy. What tyres are they going to go on, I wonder? We're about to find out. It's the soft compound for Nick Pine. Oh, Nick Pine's gone for the soft compound. I think he's made a mistake there. BigC as well. Maybe that's a graphical glitch. But wow, the soft tyres will not go 24 laps. They simply will not, without dropping off badly. So tactical errors being made, and this may open the opportunity for some of the other drivers. Zine then has recovered from his earlier mistake, and he's retaken the lead, of course. And he's about to pull out over a second. So MichEmery's tyres are not doing too good right now compared to Zine. Zine is one of the masters of tyre wear. I can only imagine that some of the soft runners might be expecting some rain, but it looks quite bright out there still. In fact, brighter than it was at the start of the race, Matt.
Yeah, I was just going to mention it. The skies are clearing up.
Zine really putting the hammer on. 1.5 second gap to MichEmery now. I suspect MichEmery will be pulling into the pits now. His tyres look absolutely finished. It's allowed Blizzard to close right behind him. Zine peels off into the pit lane. Goes deep. So let's see what Zine does then. So Blizzard takes the lead of the race. We have the gamer, MaxiLucaGT5 and CCBRAIN. Let's see what Zine goes from. Is it going to be the soft compound? Yes, it is. It is the soft compound. Well, they must be expecting rain, surely.
The contact between Lewis and Abiodun. Abiodun rejoined the track and hit AMS.
That's unfortunate. We missed that incident as we were just seeing the pit lane. So Zine coming out on the soft compound. MichEmery on the softs as well. He's in 13th and MichEmery in 16th. So let's have a look then. Two Mercedes teammates going into combat here. 1.4 second advantage between Blizzard and Gaming the Best at the moment. We're just going to keep an eye on this little battle, inter-team battle. Lewis just behind him, so it's quite a train of cars here. Gaming the Best holding off MaxiLuke and Qprbeasts987. I think we may see some more DRS action then on the back straight. Well, Blizzard had a strong qualifying thanks to that assist from his teammate. That brilliant strategy Toro Rosso did during qualifying. Any DRS battles up ahead? Let's see. A few switches, not too many. No, they're sort of relatively the same gaps. They're all getting DRS off each other, of course.
Yeah.
Qprbeasts, though, they have half a look at AMS, but no. Locks of the tyres up ahead. So those who have pitted, Zine is the lead car. He's 11 seconds behind Sambamkid. So if there's a safety car right now, those who started on the Ultrasofts, they'll be absolutely nowhere. Here we go then. Qprbeasts launching an attack on the Ferrari of AMS as we begin lap 6. AMS, cutting off Qprbeasts, but just about fairly. So, CCBRAIN, oh no, CCBRAIN has been disconnected. What a disaster. That's really unlucky. He was running strongly in the top 10 at this point. Qprbeasts unable to get past AMS at this point, so we're going to move on. Let's move on to Gaming the Best, who's 1.5 seconds behind the current race leader, VSR Blizzard. MaxiLuca still dropping back slightly, under threat a little bit from Qprbeasts987, so that may be our next on-track battle. Let's have a look at Qprbeasts987. Closing in then, MaxiLuca, the Honda engine growling as we head through the end of Sector 2. MaxiLuca getting a bit of curb, and that's going to compromise his exit. Now this will allow Qprbeasts987 to launch an attack, and a fantastic camera view. Full battery, doesn't have too much, he's going to get the move done. MaxiLuca crosses to the right to try and defend, and I think Qprbeasts987 is going to be ahead in the corner. Will MaxiLuca come back at him? I can't see him. There they are. Contact. MaxiLuca nudges him off. Definitely getting his elbows out there. A Vinnie Jones style elbow, if you will. And MaxiLuca maintains third position. He's really compromised his exit out of the final corner. This will allow KB Killer to come back to him. Will he try and move to the outside? No, he adjusts mid-corner. To be fair, MaxiLuca placing the car beautifully to defend. Abiodun in the pit lane. I think he may have picked up some damage. Ugi's setting the pace on the soft. So 134.763. And he's up to 12th position. He'll gain another position unless CCBRAIN was able to take control of his car. Was he able to, Matt?
Last I checked, there wasn't. He kind of looks like he's still ghosted.
Oh, that is a massive, massive shame.
Actually, you know what? It looks like he's in there now.
Ah, excellent. Well, he's not dropping a bag of time anymore, so I would say he has got control of the car, and that's good to see. But yeah, he's lost 4 or 5 places because of that. So that is really, really unlucky. We have nearly 50 watching now, so welcome to those who have joined. In terms of the story so far, the Ultra Soft runners pitting fairly early because of the tyre wear here, that the Ultras just don't last very long. So in effect, your net leader at the moment is Ugi. On the softs, as QPRbeasts does a bit of rallycross off the course. KB Killer unable to close any further, so just seeing if there's any other battle. Let's see, Nick Pine. Let's have a look at Nick Pine. His Cliffy up ahead is on the mediums. Can he close down on the Renault driver, who himself has MichEmery right behind him? So he's got to attack and defend at the same time. Cliffy feels he has to go to the inside. And MichEmery tries to lunge, or at least a look down the outside of Nick Pine, but he's never going to get that done. He's got on board MichEmery as they go around the final corner. Runs slightly wide. He seems to have superior straight line speed to the Force India, but the DRS that Nick Pine is getting, able to use it to defend. And just going to adjust your audio, Demon, because apparently you're quite quiet. Right, hopefully that's a bit better. So here we go then. MichEmery looking for a move on Nick Pine. Will it be a move to the inside? Oh, Nick Pine over defending a bit, and that's compromised his exit from that corner. He definitely wasn't going for an overtake. I think he got spooked by the Haas behind, and they're going to fly then through turns 7 and 8. Ugi closing the gap. But this is a battle 14. Oh, look at that. MichEmery looking for a gap on Nick Pine. This ding-dong battle is going to continue at least to the end of this lap. But Nick Pine again will get the DRS from Cliffy up ahead. And just ahead of Cliffy is Ugi. So these are 4 of the drivers who started on the Ultra Softs. BigC has lost a lot of time. He's 3.7 seconds behind this group. So I'm not sure what happened to him. Must have got caught up in some midfield shenanigans. But there's BigC just riding around turn 13 now. MichEmery then not able to close in on Nick Pine because of the DRS Nick Pine has. Nick Pine, can he go through the inside? No, they stay as they were. So let's have a look at the winners and losers from the race so far in terms of who gained what. So Cherry2Pie gaining 14 places from the start. KB Killer gaining 10, 11 for QPRbeasts. Of course, a lot of these cars haven't pitted yet. Biggest loser so far, mainly because of their pit stops. So not quite representative. I would say probably Wocko, because he's lost 11 places and he's already pitted. So in terms of who to press out, so well, Blizzard, you know, he's waited for them to all pit, and he's 1.5 seconds ahead of Gamer, so he's got very good race pace on those softs at the moment. But he probably won't be pitting until at least probably lap 11, maybe 12. Any earlier than lap 10 and you're going to be struggling a bit for tyres by the end. But those who stopped early for the softs, from the Ultra Softs, may be hoping for rain, but I'm not sure it's going to come, you know. It looks, it's getting sunnier and sunnier. The track temperatures are going up. Just not sure we're going to get any rain at this point. But Cliffy doing a very good job at the moment, just fending off these cars. But what's his battery like? He's going to have to defend very hard here now. So will we see 3 wide even for a little second? Cliffy having to go defensive, but Nick Pine not having the straight line speed quite. MichEmery getting a bit frustrated. And here we go then. The first of the soft runners into the pit lane. AMS. And KB Killer into the pit lane. So that will promote them a little bit. And now MichEmery is going to try and get through. NickPie not getting the best exit from the final corner. They're going to go side by side then through the open section corner. NickPie will have the inside for turn 3. But MichEmery will have the better traction on the outside. Please show me where the cars are. MichEmery has got past NickPie, unless NickPie can get past him. Oh, for some reason, bad camera switch from me. I do apologise. NickPie gets back through. This is a fantastic battle, but which isn't even for the points at the moment. We've got to wait for more pit stops, but they're losing a lot of time. Cliffy is now out of DRS range because of all this battling. Ugizim 2.2 seconds ahead of Cliffy. This is absolutely fantastic action. Gaps developing between the top 3. Closest on track battle in the top 5 is MaxiLuca leading with Cherry2Pie and VSR Lewis. We're going to stick with this battle between MichEmery and NickPie, because NickPie this time is out of DRS range. He's not going to get the aid of that wing flap opening, so he's going to have to defend very hard from MichEmery. At the speed, look at that, we're going over 210 miles an hour. Will they get it slowed down? MichEmery thought about a move, wasn't quite close enough. I think the toe NickPie was getting from Cliffy was just enough, as more of the soft runners pit. Blizzard, Game of the Best, Lewis and Leon all coming into the pit lane. This will promote them further still. Ugizim and the other ultra soft runners creeping back up the top 10. And now this time, side by side, MichEmery and NickPie go again. But again, NickPie will have the inside for this corner. But I think this time, MichEmery's got to try and cut off the inside, then grab the apex. But NickPie flying back at him again. MichEmery this time forcing NickPie into the outside. And finally, this time I think he's got moved on. And a 10-second penalty for xJackLacey. Exceeding track limits, and he has retired from the race. What on earth's happened there? Was there an incident between him and Wocko? I'm not sure. Looks like Wocko might have a bit of damage to its wing. Not entirely sure. So let's go back to the front there. MaxiLuca and Cherry2Pie. Top 4 are the only drivers who haven't stopped so far. And Cherry2Pie, the Mercedes driver, currently running in second place. Can he get past MaxiLuca for the lead of the Chinese Grand Prix in PSGL F1? Not for the time being, but these two likely to be pitting very shortly. Over half the drivers now on the medium tyre compound. And here we go then. The top 2 both pitting. Will QPRBeasts follow? Yes, he does. So that means Sambamkid will temporarily at least take the lead of the Chinese Grand Prix. So that's a nice moment for the Williams driver, who had a torrid time last week in Australia. So Ugizim up to second, Cliffy up to third. So at the moment, Cliffy looking quite good for the race victory here. Blizzard's come out just over a second behind MichEmery, so that should be an interesting little battle. Blizzard's going to have much better tyre wear at the end, but Cliffy can potentially go to the end. But, you know, around lap 22, 23, he's going to be struggling a little bit. So Blizzard, in terms of tyre wear, is in the best position at the moment. He's also got out ahead of NickPie, so that's quite important. Game of the Best, doing a nice solid job so far. He's come out in 7th position. So everybody except Sambamkid has pitted in this race. Lap 12, we are a couple of laps away from half distance at this Shanghai International Circuit. So let's have a look, see what battles are on track. Well, it looks like Blizzard is already closing the gap to MichEmery ahead. This could be a very feisty battle, Matt.
Oh, for sure. We also have Louis and MaxiLuca 2 tenths off each other for the final points position.
Yes, well spotted. And that looks a closer battle than the one we're currently seeing, although I'm just going to see how this finishes. No move for the time being. But this one, on the other hand, may get a move, as the reigning champion looks to get into the points. MaxiLuca goes to the inside to get all the slight contacts, and again, bang bang. Lewis will try and squeeze past MaxiLuca. Oh my goodness. Well, MaxiLuca Not really giving the Ferrari driver much respect or space there, I have to say. Nearly forcing him off onto the grass. I don't think the champ will be very impressed. And CSR Leon picks up a penalty trying to defend MaxiMery we just saw in the background. So Lewis on the medium compound, trying to get past MaxiLuca in the battle for 10th. They are closing the gap to BigC ahead, who hasn't quite found the race pace that he had at Australia so far. xJackLacey leads the session. Only one retirement from this race. I did expect there to be far less retirements here than Australia, although there were only 3 at PSGL F1 last week. Look, they're both catching BigC pretty quickly. It's half a second between MichEmery and Blizzard, so we may have a look at that in a few moments. And Leon and AMS very close on track as well. And BigC then struggling. He's just lost the place to MaxiLuca. Oh, and Lewis bangs into the back of BigC. BigC, I think he's got has he got a problem?
His softs might be toward the end. He's already been on for 9 laps. So.
Yeah, maybe. Well, you know, if you're on the ultras and you go on the softs and there's no rain or safety car, you're in deep trouble. BigC, he's lost 10th place. The championship leader may well not be leading the championship after today's race, but can he at least defend from Lewis? He's got the DRS toe ahead, so that should help him. As Game of the Best moves past Nick Pine for 6th place on the timing screens. I'm going to stick on board with this one because this is a 7-time champion against the reigning champion. This is a very interesting little contest here, a little mini chapter of the story being written here at China. Look how close they are now. There's a slight gap to the inside. BigC, can he cover it on the outside? He's going to try to. Will he drift wide? Yes, he does drift a little wide. Not got the fresh tyres anymore, but BigC will try and come back down the inside. Lewis will try and get the fresh run. Oh, there's slight contact between the two. And this will allow Cherry2Pie to get alongside Lewis. Ferrari versus Mercedes, a classic 2018 battle. Cherry2Pie dives down the inside. Oh, and I think he's just hit the rear of BigC and damaged his wing. And there's contact between Lewis and the Mercedes. Oh, and he goes off as well. Oh, goodness me. Terrible up Cherry2Pie. They just locked together. But that was a fair thump into the back of the McLaren. And then when he tried to go wheel to wheel with Lewis, that really unbalanced the car. BigC trying to defend. No. Almost looked like he let him through there. It looks like his tyres are completely shot. But yes, I think there's something more than tyres going on with BigC. Maybe something wrong with his wheel or his brake pedals. I'm not sure because it just looks way off the pace for some reason. I'm sure we'll find out after the race what that problem is. BigC, is he coming back at Lewis now under DRS? No, he is not. So let's run down the race order. Oh, MichEmery nearly hitting the corner, and he's in the pits already for his 2nd stop of the race on the softs, of course. So, well, don't think he's going to be anywhere. So the battle then for the lead really looks like this. Cliffy versus Blizzard. Blizzard with far fresher tyres. And Cherry2Pie has retired from the race after that incident, so unfortunate. Whether that was a desync, I'm not sure. Hard to judge sometimes. But I'm sure if there was an incident, it will be reported to stewards, or maybe quietly discussed in the F1 chat, as ever. But with Blizzard then. The clouds are darkening again, Matt. Perhaps the rain is coming back around from the city. We shall see shortly if there is any. But Wocko is out of the race. That's our 3rd retirement. That equals the retirements we had in Australia last week. So that is Wocko's 2nd retirement of the season in 2 races. So what a disastrous start to his season for the Sauber driver. Blizzard not able to close for the time being. 2.5 second gap between Ugi's team and Cliffy. Ugi has really closed the gap to Sambamkid, but he's going to have to be pitting soon, unless the rain comes, of course. So, Game of the Best, crossing the line in 5th, KB Killer in 6th, rest of the top 10. Nick Pine then pits on the softs, so the 2-stop strategy not really working for some of these drivers at all. Nick Pine's going to be well out of the top 10 when he comes out. And he'll be on a set of mediums on the slowest compound. It's going to do him no good at this point. MichEmery on a set of mediums as well. And Ash Best in 14th position at the moment. So let's have a look at Ugi because he is closing rapidly to Sambamkid. These are two drivers who are very familiar with each other. 11 laps Ugi done on these softs. But unless he gets a safety car or rain right now, I think, Matt, his chances of winning the race are more than likely completely gone.
Well, for sure, another pit stop is going to be crippling to him. He'll come out at least 11 to 12.
Absolutely, but here we go then. Blizzard has closed deep within the DRS zone of Cliffy, so we may get some on-track action here. Cliffy on much older medium compound tyres. So here comes Blizzard, his first real chance at attacking Cliffy for what is effectively the net lead of the race. Kasugi will be pitting again, and Sambamkid hasn't made a pit stop yet. Blizzard pulls alongside the Renault. Blizzard will try and, yeah, that was fair from both of them. Blizzard will get the traction, and he takes the effective lead of this race. He's up to third for the time being. Ugizim then pits finally, and it's gone horribly wrong for the Red Bull driver. A brilliant pole position, but maybe the wrong strategy. Maybe not confident of making the mediums last that long, but he's going to drop well out of the top 10. That promotes Game of the Best into the top 3, and with a 2.2 advantage and fresher tyres than Cliffy, he could yet finish second at least. But it is Blizzard who takes the lead of the Chinese Grand Prix. And well, compared to last week, where he only finished 8th position, he's in dreamland right now, Matt. He's got a great chance of winning this race now.
As like we said before the beginning of the race, to his standards, last week was just pitiful. So he was looking forward to getting a new track, new slate, and trying to put it in the top podium position.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, meanwhile, BigC is on 13 laps on these softs, must be nearing the end, or at least right at the end of the tyre life here, and he is under enormous pressure from CSR Leon and AMS. And well, he may be absolutely swamped into this next DRS zone. BigC trying to cover the inside, and he just about holds off Leon, and Leon's been forced onto the grass, doing a little bit of rallycross. But look at this group of cars chasing down BigC. Well, this is good. This could be incredibly dramatic. MichEmery is out of the race. That's our 4th retirement of the race. As we look at on the board with the McLaren side by side, double battle action here. Leon taking on BigC, AMS versus CCBRAIN. And all the Ferrari and the Mercedes locked tyres, but BigC has somehow defended the place, and he's going to keep going for a 14th lap on those softs. We'll go straight back to this battle. Oh, this is absolutely fantastic. 5 drivers battling in the top 10. Oh, the Renault getting swiped by the Ferrari, but luckily controlling the car. BigC somehow defending from all 4 of these cars who have far fresher tyres than his. I mean, this is every bit of experience he's drawing from. By far the most veteran driver on this grid. Leon probably can't believe he hasn't been able to pass BigC given the advantage he's got. CCBRAIN looking for a move down the inside, and he's not going to pass BigC because it looks like CCBRAIN is going to try and pass him as well, which will give BigC some temporary relief. But Leon covers off the place. But yeah, it is a big train forming behind that McLaren. It's now 6 strong, and there's more cars coming. Oh, BigC for big snap of oversteer, but just about keeps it on the track. 14 laps on the softs. I don't think I've seen anybody else take the softs that far into the race. He's probably just screaming at Charlie or someone to crash and bring out a safety car. Once again, though, he's going to try and defend it. And that's a really nice shot through the halo from Leon. And who is behind? Leon is going to try and make a move down the inside. No, he's gone to the outside of BigC. BigC will lock the tyre and try and defend again. And oh, that's a nice nudge. And that's going to allow CCBRAIN to take a place. Oh, Leon will be absolutely furious with himself for allowing BigC to do that. And he's lost 2 places. QPRbeasts is up to 9th position. Well, this has been the battle of the race so far, without a doubt. Game of the Best is closing on Cliffy, so we'll have to check on that soon. But down the inside of BigC, goes QPRbeasts. Leon trying to come through as well. Big C's now done 15 laps on those softs. He can't possibly take them to the end of the race. He's going to have to pit. He's losing so much time. He's not going to finish in the points at this rate, but my God, he has shown what a fighter he is, despite these incredible odds that are all against him. So now, Sambamkid, who's pitted for softs, of course, going to the end of the race, he'll have the best tyre advantage. He'll be looking to pick up some places. But we must head straight back. We'll just watch Sambamkid. Yep, Sambamkid's going to go around the outside of Big C. Much better tyres, of course. So I just want to pick up Game of the Best. So here we go then. Perfect timing. Game of the Best challenging Cliffy for second place. Side by side they go into the hairpin. But Game of the Best is already past. Can he get it slowed down? Yeah. Ooh, lock of the tyres. Goes deep. Cliffy will come back at him. Cliffy's on 15 laps on those mediums already. It's going to be a tall order for him to finish on the podium at this rate. Cliffy pits. Cliffy's had enough. So that will promote KB Killer to third place. So we've got 2 Toro Rossos on the podium at the moment. So that is brilliant. Let's have a quick look at Big C. How's he doing? He's lost yet another place to AMS. He's out of the points now. Will Big C finally pit? No, he will not. He is stubborn today. Oh, and a spin in the background. Ash Best has spun it at the final corner. What on earth happened there? That was like Giovinazzi last year. He pits. He's now flat last on track. Well, that's very unlucky. I can't believe Big C's still going. He's just hoping there's a safety car. But I don't think there's going to be one. We've had 4 retirements. Charlie Whiting refuses to deploy it, or Bernd Meinlander is just not here. Ugazim will easily overtake Big C here. I mean, the definition of a sitting duck right now is Big C on those 16 lap old soft tyres. Well, do you think Big C's just trying to entertain his many fans? I don't know. What is he thinking, Matt, of staying out so long on tyres which really shouldn't go this far?
I don't know. Maybe he's trying to prove a point that if you are good on your tires, you can take them as long as you can anywhere. So,
well,
I don't know.
he might have taken his tyres a long way, but it's not really giving him much speed. I mean, he's losing just place after place after place as CSR Leon gets forced off the track. He's fallen down to 13th, battling side by side with Nick Pine. Never like that rear camera view. Never see anything. Sambamkid. Oh, and Nick Pine nearly smashing into the back. With Big C's McLaren, he loses the place to Leon as a result. But Nick Pine will come back at him. Side by side as Big C finally pits then. And maybe he was pushing to go for the Ultra Softs for the end of the race to set the fastest lap. That could be his thinking, of course, to get something from this race. Side by side then go the Force India and the Sauber. Nick Pine always putting the squeeze on. Nick Pine's going to be probably just about making it to the end of the race, but Leon losing the place then. So Cliffy, it's been all over the place strategy-wise. Quite surprised, really, the variety of strategies we've seen. But the soft to medium strategy clearly is the one to go on. Lewis up to 4th position, MaxiLuca 5th. Sambam had the opposite strategy, medium to soft, and it's worked out brilliantly for him. He's currently running in 6th position. But it's Blizzard and Game of the Best who are in the top 2, and there's actually just over a second between the top 2. So let's just have a look at these two. Just outside of DRS range is Game of the Best, second last week at Australia, currently second here at China. As it stands, he will be taking the lead of this championship. Any other battles on track we haven't seen? Well, let's have a look. Cliffy. Not for the time being, but he's on soft tyres, chasing down Ugizi. AMS just behind him. Game of the Best just behind it, just behind Blizzard. If it goes within the DRS range, we will switch to that battle immediately. But this has been another enthralling race in PSGL F1. The 2 McLarens, the constructors' leaders, both at the back of the field, Matt.
It's a surprise to see that with so much experience and so many championships between the 2 of them to have a race that bad.
Yeah,
for the whole team.
We got yellows in sector 1. Oh, contact!
Oh.
Contact between the Renault and the Ferrari of AMS. Cliffy will gain 2 places. He puts hands up. Where's QPRBeasts? They're going to go side by side then into the end of Sector 1. Game of the Best has got into DRS range of Blizzard, so we're going to have a look at them. BigC has called it a day. He is out of the race, the championship lead. That's our 5th retirement of the race, would you believe? But we're going to have to look at Game of the Best, because Game of the Best has closed the gap. Equal tyre wear between the two. It's virtually equal battery as well. So here we go then. The battle for the race win is on. I don't believe either of these drivers have penalties, Matt. If you could just check for me. I don't believe Blizzard or Game of the Best have penalties. So this is a battle for the lead of the race. But no safety car still, despite 5 pretty heavy retirements in this race. So clearly, Bert Minander has decided to just go on holiday in Britain, and hopefully he'll be back for Silverstone. So Game of the Best within half a second now. And this is, here we go then. His first attack. Can Blizzard survive it? Can he hold off Game of the Best, the former multiple time PSGL F2 champion, who in season 18 came within a point of winning the PSGL F1 championship, and he's returned to this league and he wants to win it as Cliffy sets the fastest lap of the race.
As for penalties, neither one have one, but Gamer has 2 warnings.
Well, hopefully it's not deciding penalties. It'll be decided on track. Lap 23 then. Your race order. Blizzard, Game of the Best, KB Killer, Lewis, MaxiLuca, Sambamkid, CCBRAIN, Cliffy, AMS, and QPRbeasts. But I do believe QPRbeasts might have picked up some wing damage in that battle of AMS, because I saw some carbon fibre flying off. We're going to stick with this battle as Cliffy has passed CCBRAIN for 7th position. MaxiLuca will be under enormous pressure very shortly from Sambamkid. So I think I'll try and get a glimpse of that when these two are done with this DRS straight. Here we go then, Gamer getting into the toe of the Toro Rosso. The wing opens. Not quite as close as he was the previous lap, so I don't think we're going to see a move. Let's see, there's Blizzard, does he go deep into corner? No, deals with it fine. So here we go then. Oh, and a twitch from MaxiLuca, and that's going to massively compromise his speed on the back straight. MaxiLuca will go defensive, but I don't think he's going to have a prayer of defending this unless he does a lunge down the inside. We'll go back on board with MaxiLuca. What will he do? He's going to go for a dive down the inside. Oh, he cuts the hairpin massively. Probably picks up a warning there. And yeah, didn't really have a chance of defending that. It was the poor exit from turn 13 that really cost him. So straight back to the battle for the lead. Game of the Best, right on the back of Blizzard. Will he think about catching Blizzard off guard at a place he doesn't expect, just like here? Not for the time being, so no move into turn 6. So this battle will continue to rage for a few laps yet. And MaxiLuca's actually got back past Sambamkid, would you believe? So this battle continues. Game of the Best, lap 24, 5 to go, just under. Blizzard runs wide. He's under enormous pressure from one of the most accomplished drivers in PSGL F1 in Game of the Best. He's won PSGL F1 races before. He knows how to do it. Blizzard, of course, picks up his first win last season at Austria. But he's in for one mighty battle for these final 5 laps. And Ugi Azim, your pole sitter, is out of the race. That is your 6th retirement. Oh, Ugi Azim, he got the glory of pole position, but the race has been an absolute nightmare for the Red Bull driver. And it looks like Red Bull will not be scoring any points in today's race with XJackLacey auto out. But enough about that. Game of the Best going onto the attack once again, lap 25, Matt.
And he's around the outside in turn 1, and the Toro Rosso holds tight on the inside. Pushes him a little bit wide.
They squeeze side by side, but Game of the Best, I think he's going to get the move done for the time being. Yes, as Matt says, into the lead of the race. Blizzard's going to have to try and come back. Gamer will cover the inside. Oh, and Game of the Best covers the inside. Ooh. I think Blizzard, a little bit of contact, but Game of the Best, he made only one move. He covered the inside. There was nothing wrong with that. I think Blizzard probably needed to back off there a little bit because there was no space to make a move down the inside. But Blizzard, he's not going to give this up. He's going to have the DRS. He's got plenty of battery to use. But now they're heading for the DRS again, and they're going to go into battle again as Abiodun and Leon pit in 13th and 14th respectively. they're going to look to set the fastest lap of the race in the dying laps of this race. And why not? A little bit of fun for them after what's been a disappointing race for both of them. KB Killer in third place, but he's under pressure now from VSR Lewis, the reigning champion, looking to make his first podium of the season. The Game of the Best trying to defend the inside, but look at the straight line speed that Blizzard's got. But can he get the car slowed down? Blizzard can't get it slowed down, and Game of the Best gets his elbows out and maintains the position. This is going to the end for sure. Can Blizzard get back in front of Game of the Best? With that straight line speed. Oh, look at that. Tried to switch the inside, didn't have quite the grip to do it. 15 lap old tyres after all. Not quite as fresh as they were early on. As Sambamkid picks up a 3-second time penalty. That may cost him a couple of places at the end, but he's back in front of Sambamkid. Lewis trying to get past KB Killer. I'd love to see that battle, but we have a battle for the lead here. 3 laps to go, just under. This PSGL F1 Chinese Grand Prix. Rain threatened a few times at the beginning and in the middle of the race, but we didn't get any in. It's bright, glorious sunshine here, making this Williams and Toro Rosso look absolutely splendid here at the Shanghai International Circuit. And what a race we've had. Last week's race, fantastic, but this has been absolutely compelling action. And we've got a proper battle for the lead here. And the final podium position is also yet to be decided. Whew. So going into the DRS zone once again, it's a great exit from Game of the Best, I have to say. Blizzard almost falling out of DRS range. I think he'll have DRS, but he's not going to be able to challenge on this lap at least. So Game of the Best maybe about to run away with it. But look at the straight line speed that he's got. He's gained 3/10 on the straight alone. He's nowhere near close enough. But here comes Lewis, the reigning champion. Didn't have the best race in Australia last week, but he's going to try to force KB Killer into a mistake. These two fighting hard for the final podium. It's looking like a brilliant result for Toro Rosso at the moment in terms of the Constructors' Championship. They're currently in 6th position with only 3 points, and they're going to get an absolute bag of points today. So Lewis looking to move round the outside. Can't quite get... Oh, and there's contact. Was that damage, Matt, that Lewis just got off the back of the Toro Rosso?
I didn't get to see. I was watching the battle between Cliffy and Maxi.
Well, Cliffy is up to 6th position with that time penalty. He's looking good for 5th at least.
Yep. As
long as he can get past Sambam. He's got freshness off, so he should be able to. But Cliffy would be somewhat disappointed. He could have been on the podium. But Blizzard is now 1.3 seconds behind Game of the Best. So this looks like your main battle for the final podium position. Nick Pine and AMS right behind QPRbeasts. Battle for 9th, 10th and 11th respectively. This is your main on-track action at the moment. Abiodun smashes the fastest lap with 1:32.173. I suspect Leon will be trying to compete for that as well. So let us know in the chat your nomination for the driver of the day. And I will ask Matt in a few moments after the race is over what his driver of the day is. But here we go then. Lewis closing in on KB Killer. KB Killer covering the inside as he absolutely must do. Oh, and Lewis looking for a gap down the inside, but didn't quite get it. But Lewis will try and get the tracks on the outside. KB Killer trying to get the elbows out, but it was too late. Lewis has got past into 3rd position, but can KB Killer come back? Oh, it's a snap of oversteer from KB Killer, and that means he will not be able to get the best speed on the straight to come back at him. He still has the straight line speed and the toe. KB Killer desperately trying to get back ahead of Lewis. But yeah, Lewis with a great move around the outside, but fantastic racing from these two. And there's been plenty of fantastic racing like that all through the race. Last lap of the race then. Let's have a look at Game of the Best as he heads through the middle of Sector 2. Blizzard trying in vain to keep Game of the Best in range, but he's not in DRS range at the moment. And then behind, KB Killer still keeping in DRS range of Lewis. Cliffy trying to make a move on Sambamkid at the death. But Game of the Best, he won on Australia and he won. At least he's about to win here, it seems like, at China. We'll have a quick look at KB Killer. KB Killer, can he one last attempt to get back past Lewis for what would be the final podium position, and a very well-deserved one. But fourth would still be a fantastic result. No, I think he's a bit too far out of range to make a move. Game of the Best goes through the final set of corners, and he rounds the final corner, and Game of the Best will win the Chinese Grand Prix, and Blizzard will pick up a superb, and it's second, and Lewis will pick up third. KB Killer will pick up fourth. And what's happening behind? Yeah, there's still action going on. Sambamkid and Cliffy fighting for the final 5th and 6th positions. CCBRAIN and MaxiLuca just behind. Let's go on board with Game of the Best. He has done it once again. Podium last week, 2nd position, and he takes the lead of the championship with victory here at China. Cliffy 5th in the end. The rest of the top 10, MaxiLuca, CCBRAIN, Qprbeasts987 and AMS. Nick Pine, despite qualifying high, couldn't quite get into the points at 11. Ash Best, a desperately poor race for Ash Best. And I think he's finished his race frustratingly hitting the wall, judging by the flags we saw. Abiodun is not happy. We'll just get Game of the Best. What a marvellous display from him today. Right strategy, but you know, Blizzard, the two Toro Rosso drivers, have to mention them. They really contributed in qualifying and the race too. So Game of the Best on the podium once again with the race victory. But you know, Blizzard, this is where his season starts. 2nd place today, and Lewis as well, the reigning champion, finally gets back onto the podium after his disappointing race in Australia. So you can't discount Lewis. Still got 9 races to go here. But what a fantastic race. A great advert for PSGL Racing. That was. So we'll go through the top 10. And whoa, that was weird.
Yeah.
It just went all dark for a second. And yeah, lots of XP for commentary. Thank you very much, Codemasters. So here is your provisional result then for the PSGL F1 Chinese Grand Prix. Game of the Best takes the victory. Blizzard in 2nd. Lewis in 3rd. KB Killer in an impressive 4th. Cliffy in 5th. What might have been wrong strategy today. Sambamkid in 6th. MaxiLuca in 7th. CCBRAIN in 8th. Qprbeasts picking up points in 9th. AMS in 10th for Ferrari. And outside the top 10, Nick Pine, Ash Best with a desperately poor race. Just was caught up in several incidents and had that spin. And then CSR Leon, your final finisher. And we had, you know, 6 retirements in the end, I believe it was. Or was it 7? Yeah, 7 retirements in the end. So more than Australia. I did not expect that, to be perfectly honest with you. So, so what did you make of that race, Matt? And who was your driver of the day, if you want to let the guys know in the stream?
It was a really exciting race. We had 4 or 5 car battles at some points. Exciting battle for the lead at the end of the race. My driver of the day today is Sambamkid. He was the only person to start on mediums, which was a totally alternate strategy than what we were talking about before. And he started 18th, and you know, he had a good result. Yeah,
I mean, you know, several candidates. Sambam definitely up there. I think KB Killer had a really solid session as well. You know, obviously Lewis, Gamer, they had great days as well. You know, Blizzard, you know, it's a very open championship. I think we're going to see multiple different winners. Right, well, a big thank you to everybody who watched the stream tonight, and once again to Matt for his commentary duties. I really appreciate it, joining me and taking the time as ever.
Thank you for having me. It was a blast.
Right, well, we will see you next week for what should be, as it has been in the past, a classic British Grand Prix in PSGL F1. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.